Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney.
Oh, yes.
Disney is getting a lot of backlash from some of its employees over the quote-unquote, don't say gay bill. Still, and now some employees are planning a walkout, or they're doing walkouts.
Yeah, they're doing a walkout on their 15-minute breaks. Yes.
On their breaks. Yes, we're going to talk about this. Really, what I want to talk about more in this video is employees for different corporations feeling that they have the right to dictate the politics of the companies they work for, or the content of the companies they work for. This is hardly the first company to come under fire from its employees in recent years. Netflix, of course, we had a walkout over Dave Chappelle. Spotify, they were angry about Joe Rogan.
Other places let people go with pay because they didn't like the way the company was going.
Yeah, it was, I think, Basecamp or Coinbase, or it might have been both of them. They actually gave employees the option to quit if they didn't like the fact the company was going to be apolitical.
Well, companies should stay apolitical. It could avoid a lot of these headaches.
I think what the end result of this whole fiasco is going to be for Disney is that they're going to wind up being apolitical. I think they might internally create content that panders to one side of the aisle over another, but I think that as a company, they will stop giving donations to any political organization.
They need to.
Because there's no way they can win.
No, the only way to win, like I said, is not to play.
So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 260,000 subs.
Yay!
Thank you for the support.
We never get 261. Why is that?
We're almost there.
There's some fishy stuff going on with YouTube, if you ask me.
Yeah, on the back end, we can see the numbers kind of fluctuate. I think they're doing one of their audits. Their audits.
So make sure you're still subscribed, because these audits usually just unsubscribe a lot of real people.
Yeah, we get people complaining like, why did you unsub me? I'm like,
we didn't.
Do not have the ability to unsub you. So we're going to talk about this. Disney is in hot water with the media and with a lot of its employees now over this bill in Florida. Now, here's the thing. Disney actually gave to the sponsor of the quote-unquote, and I'm using quotes here because everybody's like, that's not what it's called.
It's not what it's called.
The quote-unquote don't say gay bill. The sponsor of that bill is a Republican lawmaker from Florida, and Disney has been giving to him since 2014, 2015, which would have actually been on Iger's watch.
But they also gave to the people who opposed it as well.
Yes, yeah. And at the time, to be fair to Disney, I don't think they had any idea that this was going to come up.
No, they're just playing both sides like companies do, because they want to make sure they can call in favors no matter who is in the position of power. They all do this, yet somehow Disney's the only company that's getting called out for it.
Because they're the biggest target. They're the biggest employer in Florida. And, they
made the biggest deal about their Reimagine Tomorrow and all that shit, too.
I think that's it. Disney, we talked about this in a previous video. They're reaping what they've sown. They've spent the last 4 or 5 years in particular
under Iger.
Under Iger being very, very political.
Because he wanted himself a little political position.
Yep. And now they're paying for that because they've cultivated certain expectations from their employees and the media and all of that. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, how could you, Disney? How could you let us down like this?
I just think it's funny because Iger, he got them in this position in the first place because he used a whole company to leverage his own political aspirations. After overspending and paying way too much for Fox and put the company in a financial burden position when the pandemic hit, so much so that Elizabeth Warren and all them were calling them out for their misappropriation, for shareholders and all this bonuses and all that shit. And then he up and leaves the company in this position.
Yeah, so Bob Chapek, as we understand it, he's trying to make Disney more apolitical.
Go back to where they used to be. Back
to center. And obviously, in movies and TV shows, depending on who's working on those shows, you're going to have, certain themes in those shows. And that's just the way it's going to be. But they weren't going to be overtly political. They weren't going to show overt political favoritism because they've been called out. They were called out for the Gina Carano situation. They're like, why did you get rid of her? But you've got, Pedro Pascal out there making similar kinds of remarks to get similar reactions, but on the other side of the aisle, and he's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And so they've been...
Misogyny.
misogyny.
See, she should have played the misogyny card.
She should have. I think she did. I think she
did.
Actually
She?
did.
I don't remember.
Didn't do any good. But anyway, now some of their employees are going to walk out on their lunch breaks or something. They're 15-minute breaks.
So what's going on is I'll take over here from here because I'm the one who did this story. Our friend Sarah sent this over, and what happened is they're staging these walkouts, quote unquote, starting this week, and it'll go all this week and like Monday of next week for 15 minutes during their break time. Okay. And then on the 22nd, they're going to do a full walkout. So they set up this website called, where is Chapek.com?
Yeah. But again, I want to reiterate, for all those, and look, I'm not defending Bob Chapek. I think he's been making a lot of dumb decisions, but these donations to the sponsor of this bill began on Bob Iger's watch.
But not just that. I want to take a moment to point out too, that, they're like, well, if he had said something sooner, it would have changed nothing. I do not believe for 1 minute that DeSantis was going to listen to Bob Chapek anyway for that. I don't think him calling them up or making some public denouncement sooner was going to do a damn thing other than make certain people feel better about the company they worked for. He did turn around and make a statement, which really was a big nothing burger. And then he still got pushed back. So he made another statement apologizing for that statement. He went to the investors meeting and had to make a statement there. And before all this started, they've been doing all kinds of stuff internally with Reimagine Tomorrow, changing cast member guidelines. They've been doing all kinds of shit to make it more fair for everyone, quote unquote, before this.
So
I don't know what they're supposed to do now.
Does somebody want him fired? Do people want him fired?
Well, they've been. But
yeah.
But I mean, I don't understand what this is going to do now. He already did everything he could do.
Yeah, and again, these donations began on Iger's watch.
And he already said they're not doing them anymore.
Yeah.
And they already cut them. So why?
Because...
To what end?
The media. The media's attention. And this is another example of employees wanting to dictate the direction and the content of the companies they work for. And this is a pretty recent development. Now, back in the day, and we talked about unions before, it used to be that unions wanted fairer working conditions. I was watching the Food That Built America. Mm-hmm. Actually, we're watching that, and they're like, yeah, these poor factory workers were working 16, 20-hour shifts, and then, because of unionization, they're only working 8 or 10 hours now, so they have more free time to go buy food, fast food, and stuff like that. And, that's what unions used to be about, was making sure that their workers weren't, unfairly taken advantage of in terms of working conditions and pay and all of that. Now, people want to unionize and stage all these protests or whatever to force the company to back political causes or get rid of potentially problematic, quote unquote, problematic personalities on air. Basically, the employees want the right to run the company the way they see fit.
Well, then go get an MBA, work your way up, and run the damn company. Go start your own company.
This is America. Go start your own company. I mean, tons and tons and tons of stories out there of employees for certain companies not liking the way that things were done or getting fired, and then they go out and they go start their own company and they do it their way.
Oh, my personal favorite was like the comments about Pixar. And thank God all the middle-aged white men are gone. And so now they can have voices for diversity run by a middle-aged white guy.
Yeah, right. They're all gone, and they all went to Skydance with John Lasseter.
And they're going to come kick Disney's ass.
They're absolutely going to kick Disney's ass.
Anyway, so this
kicking Disney's ass.
This scheduled walkout plan. Okay, this is what they posted. Starting Tuesday, March 15th. Okay, it starts today. Through Monday, March 21st, we will be scheduling walkouts during a 15-minute break period. These will take place at 3 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. respective to the employee's time zone. Yes, because of a plan that happens in Florida, everybody has to have a say in the California. Then on Tuesday, March 22nd, we'll engage in a full walkout. And it says here in bright red, you are protected to act while on break for the daily break walkouts. But the full-scale walkout that will take place on Tuesday, March 22nd is not a legally protected action. Take your own situation into account before choosing to participate.
A lot of these employees are unionized. I don't know if they can just walk out for a day. I think it's...
Well, that's just what they're saying. They're like, you're protected on your break time, but when we do the whole full day, you don't want to. We want to complain, but we want to keep our job.
I'm going to go on break, and I'm going to angrily smoke and I'm going to think about how much I don't like Disney. And then
you have to go on break and put a special away message, okay?
Oh, wait, there are rules for this.
Yes,
okay.
Here's the rules. During normal work hours, you need to talk to your coworkers about the walkouts. You need to harass your coworkers. Talk to your coworkers about how they've experienced discrimination or seen discrimination of LGBTQIA+. We keep adding letters to this. Employees of the Walt Disney Company's policies and actions. Share this website. Oh, I did. Set your virtual meeting backgrounds to the ones available from this website. Break time walkouts. Check in for the daily walkouts here at the homepage. This is to gauge approximate participation levels leading up to the full-scale walkout.
Wait, what?
We must make sure that we have large enough, not enough numbers to be successful. So basically, if they don't get enough people interested, they're not doing the big one.
I need a moment to process this. Just on so many levels.
It gets better, though.
I thought so many people at the company were outraged. Like, the entire company should be walking out.
Yeah, right? But
I thought for fuck's sake.
Set a unified away message. Set a unified away message set on Outlook, Slack, etc. On Outlook, and here's what it says. For members of the Disney TQIA+, I can't even, it's too many. As an employee of the Walt Disney Company and a member of that community, I will be taking an organized and unified break to speak out against Disney's lack of action against the Don't Say Gay bill. You can find the demands of Disney's leadership here at the... I didn't look at the demands. I have to look at the demands.
Where is Chapek.com?
Wait, let's go look at these demands. I didn't even look at these because, Okay, here is the steps that the Walt Disney Company needs to do in order to regain the trust of this community. A temporary pause is not enough. We require a commitment. They must immediately and indefinitely cease all campaign donations to only these politicians. They already said they were ceasing campaign donations to everyone. No, their campaign, their people are fine.
I think the only way Disney is going to win this...
They already said they were ceasing this.
Yeah. I think, all the Republicans, basically. I think the only way Disney is going to... In Florida, so good luck with that. I think the only way Disney is going to win this is to stop giving to any politicians.
That's what I think that they're saying.
Because you never know. You might donate to a politician for years and they align with your agenda and then they flip. And they don't anymore.
Mr. Chapek has noted, starting immediately, we are increasing our support for advocacy groups to combat similar legislation in other states. We are hard at work creating a new framework for our political giving. I thought they said they were pausing it. Okay, this is what he said, and I think they turned around and said they were pausing it after this. My next thing is, Disney already gives a shit ton of money to different groups involved with this community. Mm. So wait, all the donations from the Disney should go to those instead of other groups too?
Oh, look at this one there. Okay.
Wait. They must publicly commit to an actionable plan that protects employees from hateful legislation, including reflecting their commitment to the community by stopping construction and investment in the state of Florida until legislation is repealed. Not going to happen. Stopping any efforts to move employees to Florida office locations, ensuring employee safety and employee retention. No. See, there's a bunch of people in California that are pissed that they're being shipped to Florida.
Is that what this is actually about? That might be what this is actually about. The root of this might be that we had a lot of employees in California that did not want to move.
Well, it seems to be that way. Guaranteeing no employee will be terminated when denying relocation to Florida.
Well, what are they supposed to do if they're moving an entire division?
People already left.
Florida?
My next thing is, this sounds like an awful lot of their demands have to do with moving jobs from California to Florida, and people don't want to move.
Yes.
That's what this sounds like. This sounds like at the heart of it. Because
Yes.
I'm like, it's already been addressed. Why does it keep going?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, they're going to say, well, it's because of this bill or whatever, but there were already employees that were having a shit fit that they had to move to Florida anyway. Because, hey, look, Florida's a very conservative state everybody's conservative compared to California now, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't going very well for some people, I guess.
Okay, and then the company must reaffirm the commitment to protecting and advocating for its LGBTQIA+ staff, even in the face of political risk. What about all their other employees? The Walt Disney Company must take responsibility for their inaction to protect the rights of these people's children and their families by making substantial contributions to the Trevor Project, which they already give money to these different projects, and other human rights advocacy groups in an effort to regain our trust. So basically, you have to buy our trust. You better give to all these groups. You stop taking the money that you're giving to political people, which you already said you're doing, and you have to take all that money and give it to the projects we approve of to show us that you care about about us. Doesn't matter if you don't care about anybody else that works there, but you better care about just us.
Who is we? Because this sounds like whoever.
Oh, it's the LGBTQIA community.
That there's not a hive mind. This is ridiculous. It's basically 3 or 4 people got around, started talking about. I mean, if there were really this many employees that were this outraged, they wouldn't have to gauge interest in a walkout. They would know they had hundreds or thousands of people that were willing to walk out.
The Walt Disney Company should allocate content, spending an outline how it will expand its content catalog to represent the LGBTQIA+, as well as transparent reporting on methods of community inclusion in content creation and reception. You mean like all the mandates they've already been doing?
They owe you nothing.
That's what this is. This is you have to not give to people we don't like. Only give to people we like. Give to all the causes that support us. Not make us move because we don't want to move to Florida. And not fire us if we don't move. And then you have to do all this other stuff because we said so. And then they said they have to create a LGBTQIA plus brand similar to the Onyx Collective, focusing on LGBTQ creators and underrepresented voices. Well, where's the IA there?
Oh,
you missed the IA on that one.
There wasn't enough interest. They gauged interest and no IAs showed up.
Apparently, so they just decided to cut that one out.
Yeah.
This is insane, and I mean, and they've already walked it back. They've already cut political money.
Yeah.
They already said they were going to do more and give to more causes, but it has to be their causes, their ideas. So that was the if you're an ally, here's the message you had to put. As an employee of the Walt Disney Company and an ally of the community, I will be taking an organized and unified break to speak out against Disney's lack of action, against the Don't Say Gay bill. And you know what's going to happen? People that are working with these people are going to be like, if you don't do it, you're just an istophobic asshole.
Yeah, or there are going to be some other people that are like, oh, thanks for putting me in the crosshairs. Like, maybe I'm gay and I really don't want to do a walkout because I like my job. I would like to keep my job. Thank you very much. Thank you for putting a huge target on me.
Mm-hmm. The ones who, yes.
To do this.
Because I identify a certain way, I have to do this too, even if I don't agree.
Yeah, maybe I'm happily employed at the Walt Disney Company and have been for 20 years, and I really don't want to put my job in jeopardy.
And it implies everybody who identifies that way is part of this group, and that's not always the case. Then they talk again about what you're protected to do and what you're not. And now here's the full walkout, okay? Do not work. Do not go to meetings. Set your unified away messages. You have to, if you're members of the community, you have to say, as an employee of the Walt Disney Company and a member of the community, I will be participating in an organized and unified full-day walkout to speak out against Disney's lack of action against the Don't Say Gay bill. You can find our demands, which we already read here, and allies. I'm an ally in the same damn thing. I'm like, okay. This is what they're demanding.
So this is, they've got Twitter set up.
But I'm just trying to wrap my head around this because they're demanding that the Disney company speak out against it. They did. They're demanding they stop giving the money to these people. They did.
Right.
They're demanding that they get that all these organizations that they approve of get money. And then the only thing that they didn't address was the moving. Yeah.
So here's the thing. And I this is where I want to go with this because it's not just Disney. It's basically I'm going to say younger employees for the most part. Younger employees now seem to think that their job is to steer the direction of the company if they're not in an executive level positions. We've seen this with Netflix. They had their walkout over Dave Chappelle. And not only was the walkout a complete disaster, it was like a dozen people or something like that. But Netflix actually doubled down and signed Dave Chappelle for 4 more specials. Mm-hmm. And he's doing a comedy tour now. And they flat out said, we're not going to feed Chappelle to the wolves. So it had a huge, it was a huge backfire. And whatever legitimate complaint you might have had or position you thought you had, the company is less inclined to listen to you if you're going to disrupt their day-to-day operations. I'm just telling you.
Especially for things that they've already addressed.
Yeah, they've already dealt with it. And, I mean, look, whatever your position is, they already made the donation to this guy years ago. And, they're dealing with the problem. The situation Chapek is in is he can't just go apolitical because, again, the expectation has been set
by Iger
that we're going to go heavy on left-wing politics and we're going to pander heavily to the left. And anytime they try to bring it even back to center at all on any level, I think they're going to get pushback now. But this whole thing, it does seem to be more about people being pissed off. I wonder if this is organized by people in California.
No, that's what it sounds like. This whole thing sounds like a California thing because they made sure they said time zones. They focused on, we want more representation in our animation and stuff, which is what the Pixar people were complaining about.
Yeah.
We don't want to be moved to Florida, and we don't want people fired if they don't relocate. That sounds like California, because the things that the Florida people were complaining about, Disney already addressed these things. They already said they were going to give more money to different organizations. They already said that they were going to be apolitical. They weren't going to give to any of the people in Florida. They already said that they were going to do more stuff internally to try to do different things. They already made these statements. They already addressed the situation. They already are moving forward on other things they can do, because flat out Florida's not going to change their opinion because Disney called them.
Yeah, I think Ron DeSantis has made it very clear where he stands on this, and it's not like, and there were people flat out saying that they want to like pack up Disney. They're like, Disney should just pack up and move to Portland. I'm like, oh yeah, they'll get right on that. They'll just pack up billions and billions and billions of dollars in attractions and buildings and all that, and they'll just throw it in a moving van.
Oh, and they're just going to stop giving Florida money and stop building anything else. They're going to stop the Tron coaster. They're going to stop the Guardians of the Galaxy. Just stop it right now. They just announced today that they're doing more DVCs at the I think it was the Polynesian.
Yeah.
Yeah, a new DVC tower just got announced today.
Well, they need to fill that tower.
Right, but and then for all the boycott talk, no one's canceling their Star Cruiser hotel. I mean, they are, but they were canceling before when the media thing came out and everybody saw what it was, and then it filled up again. They're not. The parks are still packed solid full, and you can't get different things. So no one's canceling there.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, this is
California, 100%.
I guarantee it's California, and given that they were making such a point of saying that, nobody who wants to stay in California should be relocated to Florida, and they should be fired.
That has nothing to do with a "Don't Say Gay" bill.
That has nothing to do with it.
Zero. But they got it in there. Why?
Because I think there were some people in California who were waiting for the right opportunity to be like, oh, here's our excuse. We don't want to move to Florida. Here's our excuse. You're just a bunch of jerkwater conservatives. We're not going to go there.
What about people who aren't part of the community who don't want to move to Florida? Do they have to go anyway and get fired because they're not part of the community? Only the protected people are allowed.
I don't know.
I'm like, this sounds like California, and I'm like, I just don't understand to what end this was. I mean, if this was before he called DeSantis, I can see it, but this is after, and they've already made their statements. They've already started doing things. If you want to prove to us and win our trust back, I'm like, really? How much of the employee people do you represent?
So this is coming from the LA Times. This is Chapek said he doesn't want Disney to be a political football.
Too late. Blame Iger.
Yep, it became one anyway.
Oh, and then all the people who love Iger for his far left politics are really going to love Iger when we do a video here in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Twitter's going to lose their shit.
Yeah. So Disney has tens of thousands of employees in Florida. We have 300 are following the Disney walkout.
And half of them probably aren't even Disney Florida employees.
Probably Twitter. Just like, oh yeah, yay, right. Yeah, so this isn't going to go very well. It didn't go well for Spotify. They never got rid of Joe Rogan. Did not go well for Netflix. They actually doubled down on Dave Chappelle. And, general public, they're not going to cancel Disney over this.
Even the own people that are so outraged, so upset that they have to feel that they have to do this walkout to make a point. That they even say they're doing it on their break time when they can't be punished for it, but they're going to gauge interest whether or not they're going to take it past the break time where they can be punished.
I love this. This is coming from the LA Times. Chapek could trade notes with Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos and Spotify chief Daniel Ek. Both executives have waded through internal blowback when business priorities clash with liberal social values.
Right, liberal social values.
But down here, the lesson for companies, ignore employees' pain at your peril. No, actually, all the employee pushback did absolutely nothing.
No, it did nothing. Ignore employees' pain. Sometimes, people just get a hair up their ass for no reason. I mean, I'm not saying that these instances were no reason. I'm just saying it's ridiculous that a small group of people thinks that they have the right to dictate entire, company-wide policy. And I mean, if it's legitimately targeting people of a certain demographic that in an unfair way, that's something different. But this wasn't even internally at Disney. This is a bill that was made outside of Disney's control. And somehow, even though other companies back these people too,
Comcast,
Disney is responsible.
Their rival, Universal, everybody's like, I'm going to Universal. Surprise! Comcast gave them money too. Sorry.
I just don't see what else Disney can do.
I think, was it Publix, I think, gave them money. There are a whole bunch of companies giving money.
And the thing is with this group of people and these type of people that are the activist types that are out here that are too damn scared to actually walk out for real, have to do it on their break in case they lose their job. The problem with these kind of people is it's never enough. So they can give all the money they were giving to those politicians to the Trevor Project or whatever. It still won't be enough. Well, now what else are you going to do? Because you didn't earn our trust. We're starting to feel a little bit better. But what else are you going to do for us? Not realizing that they are only one part of a group of people that work for this company.
It's funny. They're talking to this guy from UCLA.
Oh, God, UCLA.
Who are like, in addition to being more tech savvy, Gen Z seems to be more collaborative, more mutually accountable, more acutely aware of hypocrisy.
No. This is Gen Z is better bullying each other to stay in line.
Yeah, well, we did the video talking about how Gen Z is terrified of cancel culture,
right?
But they perpetuate it.
They've been trained to obey, and they're more collaborative. By collaborative and mutually accountable, hive mind. You step out of line, and we're going to threaten to cancel you or worse to keep you where we want you to be. And I guarantee you that the group that's running this stuff aren't even the Gen Z people.
Yep. They're not afraid to hold bosses and their bosses' accountable. What's going to happen?
They're going to all get fired?
They're all going to get fired is what's going to happen. Because I think we're seeing that pendulum swing now where the company is going to look at the bottom line and they're going to be like, okay, we have tens of thousands of employees in Florida. We got rid of very valuable employees during the pandemic and we were fine. We can get rid of 100 people that are causing us problems very easily. Very easily. And
it's not working anymore to yell bigotry all the time about everything. And it was, and that's why these people are so easy to control. God, you're so easy to control. It's sad. It's ridiculously sad. So like a handful of people can start these outrage campaigns, and then they'll control all these people with threats. And then it's like abusive relationships as they're going on about abuse. And here's my thing: if you don't like it, and you don't, either
quit.
Yeah, either do the damn walkout and show a point, and don't test the waters with 15 minutes. Either stand by your ideals fully and be like willing to walk away from your job, or go get a job someplace else.
Quit. You don't like the company, you don't like the direction the company is going in, quit.
But it's ridiculous that a very small group of people think that they have the right to dictate for everybody else that works there too. I mean, whether it be this group or another group.
Yeah,
there's like, I don't know, with the Reimagine Tomorrow, how many different groups they were juggling with this.
Knows.
I mean, I feel, where's my ginger group? I mean, it's so, I don't think I deserve one. I'm just saying, because it's so dumb. It's like, all us left-handed people, we need to have a group, even though I'm right-handed, but, blue-eyed people need their own group. Brown-eyed people need their group. It's getting ridiculous.
We're going to wrap this up.
Real quick. But for a bunch of people who feel that they have to work together and they're unified and collaborative and they're really, really together on this, why do they feel that they have to divide themselves into groups so much and every group has to have its own list of mandates? You would think a collaborative and unified, smart group working for causes would work together instead of working for just their own group.
You would think, but you said you would think a smart group.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
True.
Now are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah, sorry.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.